What's up guys, Stefan, S&E's Garage, and in this video we're getting our Elantra here ready for sale. So for those of you that have been keeping up with this Elantra, in our last video we went ahead and we got this thing running. So if we hop in it now, she starts right up flawlessly, no check engine lights on, no any lights on. And it runs absolutely fantastically. Nice and quiet, no exhaust leaks, no smoke at the tailpipe. I could not be happier with mechanically how this car came out. Now this video is going to be about getting it ready for sale, and I usually kind of skip this process when I do these flips or these builds. And I wanted to share that with you. So we're gonna go over exactly what we're gonna do today to get this car ready for sale. So let's start with under the hood. Under here, everything is great. We did valve cover gaskets, we resealed the half moons on the head, we did the head gasket, we did cam seals. Everything under here is good. We even did a new alternator. Now to put the icing on the cake, we have spark plugs and wires coming for this, so it will have a complete tune-up. When I do these cars to sell, I like to get a top dollar. I ask for the top of Kelley Blue Book, and then I show the people that come to look at it the receipts, and I show them why that's what I'm asking. I don't mind spending a little bit more money on the car to produce a better product for the end user, and if it's going to give me a return. So to spend an extra 40 bucks on some spark plugs and wires here just so I can say, hey, you know, Mr. Customer, this car is not going to need anything but a driver, just hop in it and drive. It's worth it to me. So we're going to be doing that, and we're also going to be changing the oil. We have some oil coming today, and in here we have an original equipment Hyundai oil filter that will be going in it, and I am a big proponent of using original equipment oil filters. So that's what we're going to be doing under the hood. We're just going to be putting the icing on the cake. Not that everything under here isn't already in tip-top shape, we're just going to make it that much better. Now, if you watched our last video, we had said that we were going to let it run for a little while with the oil that was in it to go ahead and flush the cylinder head of any contaminants or debris. So we did that, we drove it a little bit, so now we're going to go ahead and change the oil. We are using some 5W20 Castrol. I like Castrol, I use it in all my cars, and like I showed you earlier, we are going to be using an OEM Hyundai oil filter, which is right here. So let's go ahead. We got her driven up on the ramps, climb underneath, change the oil. So changing the oil on these is super easy. It's a 17 millimeter right here. We're just going to go ahead and crack it loose and let it drain into the pan here. And out it comes. So you'll see it is actually super clean. The gentleman I bought the car off of had just changed the oil right before the timing belt snapped on him. So the oil is relatively clean, and that's one of the main reasons I decided to run it like this for a little bit. So we'll go ahead and let it finish draining, and then put this back in, change our oil filter, which is right here, and fill it up with oil. And here's how you can tell that somebody that actually knows what they were doing used to own this car, because this oil filter is hand tight, and I don't need a wrench to get it off. It's coming right off, and that is exactly what you want. Perfect. All right guys, we put about a hair over 4 quarts in it, and she is perfect. All right, now yesterday in here we went ahead and we just gave this thing a quick preliminary vacuum and wipe down, just to kind of get an idea of how the carpets and seats and everything looked. And you'll see that it's a little bit dingy and it needs a little bit of help. They didn't have floor mats in here for some reason, so we're going to shampoo these carpets. We're going to get them real nice and clean, and then we're just going to go to Walmart and buy a cheap set of floor mats to throw in there. Same thing back here. Back here, I need to wipe this down a little bit more, but these seats actually need to be shampooed, so that's where our trusty shampooer comes in here. I actually found this thing in the garbage, and I've used this thing to recondition a ton of used cars that I've purchased, so it's more than paid for itself. And then we have to do something with this carpet down here. Again, I think the shampooer will clean that up nicely. Let's take a look over here. You'll see there's some crusties there, and then back here, I guess they had a dog, and there is a pretty good amount of pet hair here. So we're gonna get a pet hair brush. I'm gonna show you how to use that, and we're just gonna clean this thing up really nice and get it ready for sale. That way it looks the part, it smells the part, and it runs the part. And this side didn't come out too bad either. Again, just gonna need a quick shampoo. So here at S&E's Garage, not only do we make the car run good and drive good, we want to make it look good. Appearance is a big selling point on a car like this. It is a higher mileage car, and the better it looks, the better it runs, and the better it drives. You want the full package. So we're probably going to end up time-lapsing a lot of this stuff, just so you're not just watching me vacuum. But we'll go ahead, get you set up on the tripod, and we'll get to work. Now, unfortunately for us, right now this car does not have a good inspection sticker. It was due in September of 2021. Now, usually when I do these flips, I do not flip the title in my name. Usually I just have the person that I buy the car from sign the title, and then when I sell it, I provide the new buyer with that title. But because we don't have a good inspection sticker here, that is a huge selling point. So what we are going to be doing on Monday, today is Sunday, so tomorrow I'm going to be going to the DMV, flipping this title into my name, registering this car, insuring this car, and then we're going to drive it to work a couple days, set all the readiness monitors, and then we're going to go ahead and get it inspected. That way we know it's good, we know it has a good inspection sticker, and we know it's going to be a reliable car for somebody. Alright guys, so this is going to be about it for now. This pet hair is really kind of tricky, so we have to wait for the pet hair brush that we ordered to come in, and that'll really get the rest of this hair out. But you'll see we got most of the stains out of the carpet. We got the stains here out of the back seat. This back side here really didn't need to be shampooed. It's just a little hairy. There's no real stains here, so we'll get that pet hair out when we get that pet hair brush. And then we went ahead and shampooed up here. So let's just go ahead and take a look at over here at the water that we got out of this thing, and just take a look at how disgusting that is. We got a lot of a lot of dirt and debris out of this carpet and out of those seats. So stay tuned. We're gonna get our pet hair brush, really clean that up, and then we'll get the seat back in and take it from there. All right, guys, so it's obviously quite a bit later at night tonight, and we're out here. We shampooed these carpets a little earlier today, and we kind of left the windows down to let it dry out for the day. Now that it is nighttime, everything's still a little bit damp. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn our heat on. We're going to go ahead and put it on recirculate, and we're also going to run the air conditioner to go ahead and remove any moisture in the air. And then we're going to use our ozone generator here, and we're going to turn this guy on. We're going to let it run for an hour here with the door shut, again on recirculate, full heat. And what that is going to do is it's going to fill this cabin in here with ozone. And for those of you that don't know, ozone eliminates odors. It destroys them. It's basically a free radical chemical that will attach itself to any odor. So we're going to let that run for an hour with the heat on in here, dry the car out, and basically neutralize any scents that are in here. The car doesn't really smell, but we do want to just neutralize it so that if there is any scents in there that somebody might not like, it's going to completely eliminate them. All right, guys, we got our Amazon Basics floor mats here installed, and they actually look pretty good. They're not original equipment, obviously, but it's much better than having nothing. So this thing is just about ready to sell. All we're waiting on is our spark plugs and wires that we are going to treat it to, just to put the icing on the cake. And then we're going to be doing a video on an LED conversion, so stay tuned for that. But let's wait for them plugs and wires, and we'll be back with you. All right, guys, so as promised, we are going to be treating this thing to some nice spark plugs and wires. So what we went with here are some Iridium Power Denso spark plugs and some SHAP spark plug wires. These are supposedly made by the original equipment supplier. If you look here, it says OEM Hyundai Kia. So we'll see when we take them out, but we're gonna go ahead and rip this coil cover off. Now it is worth mentioning, I drove this car to work today and it actually passed inspection. So that's huge. I'm super happy that that happened. So let's go ahead now and just pull these boots here out. Okay, like so. Let's go ahead and pull our spark plugs out. So when we put this engine together, I didn't kill these spark plugs because I knew we were going to be changing them. So they should not be in here tight at all, and obviously they are not. They're coming right loose. So let's go ahead. Now we're going to zip them out the rest of the way. Just going to take a look at them, make sure I don't see anything funky in here. They're a little crusty. Probably from the parts washer juice. They're a little crusty here, but let's go ahead now and get our new plugs. Now, if you're looking on a full tutorial on how to replace these spark plugs and these spark plug wires, I do have a video on that, and I will link it in the video description below for you, just so that you have it. on this. Now we are just gonna snug these. There's a crush washer on the bottom of the spark plug. You'll feel it when it bottoms out. You really don't need to kill these, you just snug them up. Okay, so now our plugs are in. Let's unwrap our wires here, check it out. And for what it's worth, they say made in Korea right on them. Let me open them up and show you there. Made in Korea. So, being that this is a Korean car, we're going to go ahead and assume that they are original equipment. We're going to go ahead and replace these in order, just to make it easy for us here. So let's start here with number one. They are a little tricky sometimes to remove from the coil, but with a little bit of finesse. And by finesse, I mean sometimes you just got to rip them off. They'll come off. All right, let's just go ahead and start it, make sure it runs. Sounds happy to me. Let's just go ahead and put this spark plug wire cover back on. So if this kind of content interests you, please, I got my headlight on, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.